You need a post-shot routine. Last week on the Better Golf Academy podcast, Hanju talked about how Roger Federer only won 54% of his points. Now, the other way to look at that is that he lost 46% of his points, and how was he still able to win so many Grand Slams and be a legend and do all the things he did? How was he able to stay locked in after all that potential negativity? Today, I'm going to get ultra practical on the steps that you can take to not dwell on the golf course, and that is through the post-shot routine. You heard me right, post-shot routine. The good news is that you're probably doing some of this because it's human nature to hit a shot, to react, to troubleshoot. Let's zero in on this process that happens after you hit a golf shot. We're not here to be mediocre. We're here to pour gasoline on the fire, to be intentional. So this is where the rubber meets the road. Buckle in, okay? You ready? Let's go. Why should we even spend our time, our energy, our headspace in this post-shot routine? Don't we already have a pre-shot routine? What is the point? And I think the point for this is to manage your energy in a positive way, in a way that helps you carry through not only the 18 holes that you're playing with that day, but also just in general for enjoyment of the sport. And we all know that negative energy can affect our mood, not only after the shot, the bad shot, potential bad shot, but also the shot after that, and maybe even the shot after that. And left unchecked, it can lead to a blow-up hole, which basically can take us out of contention. And left unchecked, you could quickly and easily spiral into a slump. We also probably know that negative energy can affect the tension in our muscles, and that can be a good thing if there is a trigger or a danger requiring us to pump up adrenaline and run away for survival. But you and I both know also that on the golf course, rarely is adrenaline a good thing. Maybe unless you've practiced it and you're going for a par 5 and 2 and you just really need that. But in most cases, we know that golf is played 2/3 of the time in distances under 100 yards. And most of the time, the calm, focused, collected, intentional energy is what we need to shoot lower scores. And so the whole point of this is energy management, because the steps you do in the post-shot routine, you take 10 people, you get 10 different post-shot routines. But I think that barometer, that metric of success, the goal is to manage your energy through good shots and also bad shots. So the acronym that I love to use because it's really memorable, and I am in the Pacific Northwest where it rains a lot, is RAIN. Recognize, accept, investigate, and neutralize. RAIN. Recognize. You can also throw in react, neutrally, and even reframe. These are all great R's and all great things to do after hitting a good and bad shot. Let's go for the bad shot first. And so what I want you to do after you hit that shot, you were aiming for the flag, you pulled it, it went 10 yards over, it rolled down the hill, now you have a tricky chip. The first thing I want you to do, and by the way, you've been doing this all week and all month, and you just can't figure out how to stop pulling this shot that is 120 yards. It should be nicely close to the flag, but now you have to fight for par. What you're going to do is you're going to react neutrally, and you're going to recognize what you did, okay? So boom, you hit that shot. You're expecting it to land 10 feet by the pin, or, even 20 feet, let's say. And then, you pull it and you're seeing the ball trickle down the hill. You're going to hold that finish until the ball lands and stops moving. You're not going to react. You're not going to do anything for 10 seconds. All right. After you hit the shot. So hit the shot, boom, hold the finish. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10. In sports psychology, this is called neutral face reaction or neutral body language reaction. It's basically not reacting at all. You may already know that your brain is a pattern recognition machine. I'm going to read this from Google Gemini. The human brain is wired to seek and recognize patterns because it's a fundamental mechanism for learning, making predictions, understanding the world, and ultimately improving survival and decision making. Okay, so your brain has evolved to, if you see a bear, run. Your body, your brain is relying on these shortcuts, if you will, not to be lazy, but to be efficient, right? Back in the day, we didn't know when our next meal was going to come. And so we needed to conserve our energies such that when we needed to do something, then we knew that was like an immediate real threat and danger. Thus, I have to run. And in the same way, conscious or subconscious, you have trained your body that whenever you yell, throw a club, slam a club, that you are not happy. You're telling your brain like, boom, hit that shot. I am not happy. I am tense. Why am I playing this game? I suck, maybe. Why am I even out here? I hit this shot so many times on the range and it went straight by the pin. Why can't I do it on the golf course? I can never do this on the golf course, right? You're reinforcing. You always pull an easy 120-yard shot left. When I react, I'm essentially short-circuiting everything and saying, I have an easy shot. And what do I do with easy shots? I pull it to the left off the green. Some of you probably don't take it so far as to say like, oh, I suck because I can't hit the green. But some of you do, right? I mean, I used to. I've been there, right? Sometimes I still slip, right? And I don't think there's anything inherently, bad or negative by saying like, oh man, I pulled that, right? But the thing here is, right, remember, this is energy management. How easy can it be for you to go from that, oh, I pulled this shot left, to, oh man, that's going to be such a hard up and down, thereby setting yourself up for not success, right? Or, say 3 holes down the line, you have a 120-yard shot, and you're, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I'm probably going to pull this, I think, maybe, or let's not pull this, and then you end up leaving it short right. Recognize and be as objective as possible and disassociate the result from my identity, right? We'll revisit that later, but I'm going to show you the optimal way to do this, at least for me, right? 120-yard shot, no wind, pins in the middle of the green. I have the shot in my head, hitting a gap wedge. It's landing 2 yards in front of the pin, stopping there maybe. So, do my whole pre-shot routine, hit it, pulls left, goes off the green, hold my finish 10 seconds. And then I observe objectively, man, I pulled that shot left 15 yards, went 10 yards over the pin. How did I hit my gap wedge 130 yards? That's interesting. And then that's it. That's R, right? Instead of spiraling into negativity and, burning all this energy, just observing. And then we move on to the A, to accepting the result, right? Because I hit that shot, whether I liked it or not, whether it was a good result or not, I hit that shot. It was 20 yards past the pin to the left. I pulled it. And now we can move into the acceptance phase. All right, so let's move into A. All right, real quick before we do that though, I want to hit on the good shot, right? Because recognizing for the good shots ingrains to yourself, to myself, that I am capable to hit good shots. Not only that, but that's just what I do, right? Even though, sure, I might miss, reality says that I'm going to miss greens from 120 yards, but by etching that pattern, that feedback recognition into like 120 yards, boom, I hit it, 10 feet next to the pin, and saying like, again, neutral face reaction, neutral body reaction, right? Body language reaction, hitting that, looking at the ball and saying like, wow, that is 15 feet below the pin. That's what I do. Just recognizing that, right? That ingrains in your being that not only are you capable of doing it, but that's what you do, right? I am a green, hitting machine. I hit balls close to the pin. That's what I do. All right. So that's what you're going to do for a good shot, right? That's going to give you momentum and positive energy, focused energy, intentional energy to not only help you maximize chances of making that putt, but also in that very round, next time you have 120 yards or even 125 yards, 115 yards, you're hitting that. You're like, wow, on the 12th hole, like I did that. That's what I do, right? It's going to help you later, right? Positive energy. And then for the negative one, we already talked about that. This neutral body reaction, neutral body language, neutral face reaction is going to help you minimize negative energy, thereby hopefully keeping you more calm, keeping your muscles loose, having your intention be calm, collected, focused, instead of nervous, anxious, adrenaline. I hope that made sense. Let's move on to A, acceptance. Now, this is arguably the most simple, but also the most hard step, is to accept the result. And again, the whole point is energy management, right? Once we accept the result, we can let it go, right? It's hard to say like, hey, just forget that bad shot, because it's, what is that? How do I do that? I don't know. But these are the steps that you can take to forget the bad shot, right? These steps kind of naturally is the process that you can use to forget the bad shot. Okay. It's hard to tell someone just forget about the pink elephant. Like, what did you think about? Did you see a pink elephant? So by accepting, you're shining light on what just happened, and then you're going to reframe and move on. Okay. So boom, I hit the 120-yard shot. It went 10 yards over to the left. Now I have a 20-yard pitch to the flag. And I'm like, okay, I missed that 120-yard shot. Maybe even I wish that wasn't the case. I'm going to get this up and down. Like, that's what I do. Like, reframing that negative outcome to an intention now. I'm going to get this up and down. Okay, what do I need to do here? Oh, it's an uphill, and then it kind of trickles down back to the pin. It's probably going to be a left to right because the flag is right there. Contrast that with, boom. Oh my goodness. I missed that shot by a mile. How did I miss the green from this short away? 120 yards as a gap wedge. Like, I should hit 10 out of 10 greens, or at least 9 out of 10 greens here, right? I should at least have a 30-foot putt. What is wrong with me? So that's it for this one. It's just accepting the result, right? In my mind, I see two things could happen here. One is like, you don't accept it, and then your body's carrying that tension and that weight of the result, right? If I don't accept like, oh man, I missed the green from 120 yards, then it's like, it's in my being. It's just in my body, like that negative energy is stored in my body. But if I'm able to say, man, I missed the green from 120 yards, it's powerless, right? It's like, okay, like, let's get it up and down now. So just by saying it out loud and accepting the result, that makes it so that you're not carrying that result. The weight is not on your shoulders anymore. And you're able to use that energy to, instead of carry this burden, you're able to use that energy to focus on the next shot. I is for investigate or identify. And I think this is where most people jump to at the start of their post-shot routine, right? They pull that 120-yard shot left, and then they go, what just happened, right? Take a look at the divot, take a look at your club face. That's even if you're doing it. And you just skip over the recognize and the accept phase, right? So you're just going straight into troubleshooting mode, which is better than nothing. But you're still going to carry the weight of that quote unquote bad shot. You're still going to carry that negative energy. But arguably this step right here, investigate, is my favorite because I just like to troubleshoot. The two usual suspects here are, it was a mental mistake or it was a mechanical mistake. All right. So mental mistakes would be things like, oh man, like I knew that was the line for this 5-foot putt, but I didn't commit to it. I ended up just kind of pulling a little left because I didn't think it would break that much on a right to left putt. Or even a mental mistake could be, hey, I knew it was 120 yards, but it was a little uphill, and I thought that I could, swing it a little harder just to make sure that I could get there. And by swinging harder, I kind of turned the club face and it went long and left. That's a mental mistake as well because I didn't commit to the shot before. Mechanical would be something like, oh man, I topped it because I looked up. I was just so excited to see the result. Or I didn't put the ball back enough in my stance. And as a result, because the ball is, kind of towards my left heel, I try to scoop it up. And instead of getting solid contact on it, I topped it a little bit or caught it a little thin and it flew over the green. That would be a mechanical mistake. Oh man, I forgot that the ball was on an uphill lie. And on uphill lies, the toe is up. And so I kind of flung it and it went, a little bit farther. So it helps to categorize the result into these two buckets because it can help you it can help you on the next hole, right? It can help you on that round real time. Right. And again, it takes away from being this nebulous, like, oh, I don't even know what happened there. I just pulled it and it went there, to like, oh no, yeah, that was a mental error. It was 120 yards, but I just wanted to give a little more just in case. And so next time you have a 120 yard shot, just focusing on an easy, solid swing, right? Not putting more into it. Or, oh shoot, yeah, this really is 125 yards. I better get my pitching wedge and do a 3/4 swing rather than try to get a gap wedge up there, right? And so investigating and identifying the root cause, approaching the situation with curiosity, like being an investigator, right? Like, oh, what happened here? Helps you get out of that negative spiral, right? You remove yourself quite literally from the mental state of a negative bad shot to like curiosity, like, what happened here, right? And doing that little exercise helps you not only forget the shot in the moment, but it also helps you going forward. Now I want to caveat this by saying that like maybe you don't have time or luxury, or maybe you just can't get to the solution right there on the spot. And it's okay to tell yourself, like, as a fallback, just to say, oh man, I don't really know what happened there. And that's okay. Like, I'm going to write a note here in my scorecard. Like, I topped this one a little bit over and, it led to me hitting 10 yards over. Not really sure what happened, but let me revisit this later. At the very least, that it acts like a lightning rod grounding, right? It's like, hey, you're admitting to yourself, like, it went over. I don't know what happened. I accept the shot. And I'm going to investigate later just because I don't have the energy right now. I don't have the time right now, whatever the reason is. And then just a side note here, you can also use this for a good shot, 120 yards, boom, you stick it to the flag, 10 feet. What did I do on that? That worked, right? It helps you reinforce that you know what you're doing and you're doing this intentionally, that it's not a mistake, right? Oh, I hit a really solid shot. And it wasn't a full swing gap wedge actually, but because it was such a smooth swing, I got good contact on it. The ball went straight. Like I calculated every bit of that. That's just what I do, right? That reinforces like I am capable of hitting good shots. That's what I do. All right, this brings us to the final step of the post-shot routine, which is N for neutralize. And this is like, once you've recognized what you've done, you've accepted the result, you've investigated, you've troubleshot what caused that result, even if the result of that is like, I'm not sure, I'll revisit it later. Now it's time for the next shot, neutralize, right? So whether you like it or not, you're going to have to step up to your next shot, right? And it's up to you if you're going to step up to it with intention, focus, clarity, confidence, or if you're going to be reactive, right? Like still, dwelling on the shot before, I can't believe I'm here, whatever, right? So neutralize. So very practically, so again, this is one of those simple but powerful ones, right? Is to have a neutralize routine, okay? This can be as simple as, you hear the Velcro in your glove, and when you undo your glove, that signifies to your body, and this is after you've done RAI, that Velcro signifies like, okay, I'm done with this one. I'm going to move on to the next one. That could be a neutralize routine, right? Another one, popular one, is once the club goes into the bag, that's it, right? You hear the club head clang against the other club head, like, okay, pick up your bag, go, right? Or even if it's on the golf cart, right? You put the club in, on to the next, right? It's signifying to your mind, your body, like, I'm done with this one. It is what it is. Can't control the outcome. We're going to focus our energy on the next one. And even saying something out loud, right? And this, this is why I love the acronym so much. N, next play, neutralize. Coach K, I don't know if you know him or not. He's kind of a legendary basketball coach. I'm going to read this excerpt right here because I think it embodies the whole point of this whole post-shot routine, all right? Coach K says, in basketball and in life, I have always maintained the philosophy of next play. Essentially, what it means is that what you have just done is not nearly as important as what you are doing right now. The next play philosophy emphasizes the fact that the most important play of the game or life moment on which you should always focus on is the next one. It's not about the turnover I committed the last time on the court. It's not even about the three-pointer I hit to tie the game. It's about what's next. It's not about that 120-yard shot that I pulled to the left. To waste time lamenting a mistake or celebrating a success is distracting and can leave you and your team unprepared for what you are about to face. It robs you of the ability to do your best at that moment and to give your full concentration. It's why I love basketball. It's why I love golf. Plays happen with rapidity and there may be no stop action. Basketball is a game that favors the quick thinker and the person who can go on to the next play the fastest. So I just love that. Imagine if after every bad shot, you can recognize what you did, you can accept it, whether you like it or not. That's what happened. You investigate root cause, and the whole point is to help you get to the next one, right? To let go of that one, forget what you did. In golf, we have a little bit of more luxury than basketball, right? We have 2 to 3 minutes, maybe a stroll up to the hole to kind of process and see what you did. But I love this idea of next play to neutralize. On to the next. I get things up and down. This is just what I do. Now on this one, in a perfect world, you're having a pretty, stable round. Usually the stable, boring rounds are the ones that you score on the best, right? I think, from my experience. But there are those times where you're just about to lose it. You're on tilt. Like maybe you have not, maybe you've had 3 or 4 holes where you had that 120-yard shot, and this is like the 5th time you're trying, and you still pulled it into a bunker to the left. Sometimes you just need a hard reboot, like too many tabs open, your system's just running slow, you're getting that dull headache in the back of your head, you're just feeling tired, it's close to the end of the day, and you need that hard reset. What do you do here? There are 3 tools that I want to give you. Pick the one that resonates the most with you. There was one called mindful walking, in which, if you're riding a cart, just tell your buddy like, hey, I'm going to walk this one. And you walk up, take some deep breaths, and engage your 5 senses. That really just forces you to get outside of your head. And so, what do you see around you? Forces you to look up. Like, oh, I see a lake. I see some birds. See some beautiful Doug fir trees. What do you smell? I smell a hot dog. I smell Gatorade. I smell whatever it is. Dew, right? What do you touch? What do you feel tactically? Oh, I feel the glove. I feel my shirt. I don't know why you would do this. Kind of funny. I feel the putter grip in my hand as I'm walking up to the green. I feel the bottom of my soles, hitting the grass there, soft. Oh, I hear that fountain over there on that lake. I hear some birds. I hear the wind. I hear some cars off in the distance. And what do you taste, right? Taste your bad breath. You taste the granola bar you just ate. You taste nothing, right? The whole point is to engage your 5 senses to anchor you back in the moment. All right. You could do box breathing or a variation of that. Inhale for 3, exhale for 6, right? Normally when you're tense, tight, negative, anxious, your breath is really shallow, right? You want to engage your parasympathetic nervous system. I don't even know what that means, but I know it's, helps you focus and all that. So look up box breathing, right? Do a few breaths, right? Even if it's 3, right? Helps you get grounded, get you back in that hard reset, right? I'll throw his name down here. I forget his name right now, but he's the expert in this flow mental game thing. He's Colin Morikawa's mental game coach, or used to be. It's a 180-degree view, right? So when we're in that negative zone, we're usually looking down. We're just spiraling within ourselves. And by looking up, like literally looking up, getting a 180-degree view of where you're at helps you do the opposite of spiraling down, right? Literally look up, get broad, right? He's a mental game coach. I don't know the theory behind that, but that could work as well. Was this helpful? Did this resonate with you? If so, would you mind taking 10 seconds to drop a comment in the comment section down below? That'll help us build our better golf community here, and we can just share stories and tell each other how awesome this is and how much it helped us on the 18th green make the cut and make the team and go on to become champions. I would love that. Or if you want to send a private message, visit bettergolfacademy.com/hello, and we promise we'll get back to you. If you have a teammate, a loved one, a sibling, anybody, a partner who can benefit from this post-shot routine content, please make sure to share this video with them. Make it a great day. Be awesome, and bye for now.